Okay.
Each other.
That's fine.
I'll come over. You don't need that.
No, I did just. Good evening, folks. Our council president, John Hanley, is going to be delayed. I am Steve Kalender. I am the vice president, and I will get this meeting started by the first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to ask our harbor master, Ed Cabral, to please lead us. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm being instructed by our clerk that I would like a moment of silence for Kathy Emerald. Thank you. So the first item on, he doesn't have public comment. We don't have public comment on tonight's? Am I missing? Oh, there it is. It's way back. Well, it's underneath the resolution, this stuff. We'll go to public comment first. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to come up and speak about something that's not on the agenda, feel free to have the opportunity to come up this evening. Just know that anybody on the council, we cannot respond. Seeing none, we'll move on to the agenda items. We have a resolution to the Warren Athletic Hall of Fame. Is there anyone here from the Hall of Fame? No, so are we just going to read this into the record? That's fine. So the 1993 Warren High School and Mount Hope boys soccer is being recognized. The 1985 Warren High School boys soccer team, the 1943 Warren Bristol Playgrounds under 16 baseball champions, and the 1921 Warren Grammar School baseball champions are all being recognized. Whereas the Warren Athletic Hall of Fame has recognized outstanding citizens of the town who have made significant contribution by the example they set through athletic ability combined with outstanding citizenship. And whereas the following individuals and teams are to be inducted into the Warren Athletic Hall of Fame. I've let you know who the teams are. These are the individuals that are going into the Hall of Fame. Patrick B. Descosio, Stacia Medina, Jim Mello, Nicholas Murgo, Peter A. Piccarelli, Kenny McPhillips, Rick Jackson, and Joe Andrade. Are any of them here? Seeing not, they will be honored at their Warren Hall of Fame banquet. One of these for Ed. Nope, that's the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. That's it. Where's no, that's Mark. That's not just Ed. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have a recognition for the harbor master who has decided to retire. And would Ed Cabral please come forward? Yeah, for any of us this evening. Yeah, well, you're moving on. On behalf of the entire Warren Town Council, myself, John Hanley, Councilman Joseph DePasquale, Councilman Brett Heckert, and Councilwoman Carrie Cronin, we present Mr. Ed Cabral, who has served as our harbor master for the past 11 years, in appreciation for the 11 years of service to harbor master of the town of Warren, on behalf of all the citizens for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to the town by the Warren Town Council. Congratulations. Matter of stay right here because we have also two other recognitions for individuals that helped us during the 4th of July parade to carry the banner for the Warren Town Council. We have Cecilia Capaldi, or CC Capaldi. Congratulations. This certificate of recognition may it be known that Cecilia Capaldi is hereby awarded the certificate of recognition with congratulations of the Warren Town Council for your thoughtfulness and assistance of the Fourth of July parade. Presented today, the 9th day of September, 2024. It is from the President, myself, Steve Pulinda, the Vice President, Councilman Joseph DePasquale, Councilwoman Carrie M. Cronin, and Councilman Brent Shepherd. Congratulations. Yeah. Next, Marco Capaldi.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council.
Again, this is a certificate of recognition. May it be known that Marco Capaldi is hereby awarded the certificate of recognition with the congratulations of the Warren Town Council for your thoughtfulness and assistance during the 4th of July parade. Presented this 9th day of September 2024, signed by President John Hanley, myself, Vice President Steve Salenda, Councilman Joseph DePasquale, Councilwoman Carrie Cronin, and Councilman Brad Heck. Congratulations and thank you very
It was
much.
an honor.
Just so you know, it was a very warm day. They did an outstanding job. She did better than all of us. She didn't miss a beat. She was actually running at times. Take it easy. You have to slow down. You have to slow down. So thank
The
you.
best
very-
advice I gave her was Buddy Sands' advice, never walk behind the horse. I was very cognizant of where the horse was up the parade.
Sure. Got the official pen? All right, folks, moving right along. Next on the agenda is we have interviews. We have for the affordable housing, we have Davison Bolster. I see you there. Come on forward, Davison. Good evening.
Good evening, members of the council.
I feel like I'm back in zoning. Wasn't prepared for this tonight. Go ahead, please tell us a little about yourself and why you want to serve on this board.
Oh, boy. I've been in this town too long. I care too much. And honestly, I have now been involved in battling 4 of these affordable housing projects that have been jammed down the town of the throat of this town. And that's not a way to operate. So we feel it's much better to try to get out in front of this thing and satisfy all the concerns that are making the situation the way it is, which is to provide housing, to satisfy the state legislature, and so forth and so on. And that's why I came up with this idea to create this task force, and we will get enough members to make it work. And so that's why I'm here.
Any questions from the council?
None.
I already had a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you,
ayes have it.
guys.
Thank you for
Congratulations.
volunteering.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
welcome. We'll keep you posted.
And we also have Joan Brenner Coltrane. I see you. Thank you. Come on forward.
So I think Davison's given you a little sense of what we're hoping to do with this advisory board. I serve on the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board, but since the trust fund has no funds, I think I can continue my advocacy on this advisory board. Any questions?
I just want to say that I appreciate your statement about the balance between the need for affordable housing and maintaining and protecting our historic fabric and, you know, cultural identity. I think that's really an important priority. And with that, I would make a motion to appoint Joan
Happily second that,
to the board.
having worked with Joan on a couple of different boards, so.
So it's interesting that we all picked up on the same thing. I actually highlighted it and made a little note and was looking for you to just elaborate a little, but I think Carrie already touched upon it. So again, yes, thank you, and thank you for volunteering. The motion's been duly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you and
you.
congratulations. What am I doing next? So we have positions still available, the Budget Committee, the Economic Development, Juvenile Hearing Board, the 250th Commission. There's 4 positions available. and the Warren's Arts Cultural Commission. Anyone that's in the public right now or anybody that may be watching on our simulcast, please feel free. We appreciate and we encourage all the volunteers that we can get. And this really doesn't happen without a volunteer workforce. So thank you for those who have volunteered. We have acceptance for the minutes. Any changes that we're seeing?
None, motion to approve.
Second?
Second, if it's for the August 13th.
I'm sorry, yes,
it's
it's for
not-
the August 13th, not the special meeting.
Okay.
Yes, I should have clarified. Thank you. For the August 13th. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Yeah, I accept it. For the special Warren Town Council meeting, August 28th.
Only you and Brad can vote on it.
Do we have to table this? Because we don't have a quorum to vote on it?
No, because they're not recused.
Okay, yeah, they would
Even
just,
though there's no votes, you have formed, there's two votes with them.
okay.
I was absent.
Yeah, do you see anything different with the print? I read them, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, no. I'm fine.
We're good?
Yeah.
All in favor? Vote.
Yep.
And a second? All opposed? Nope. All right, we have it.
Aye.
All right, beautiful. All right, that brings us to ordinance 01, chapter 15 planning. It's Article 4 of the comprehensive permit plan, section 15-7 of the comprehensive plan incorporated by reference. It's the first reading. I believe this is you, Herb. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Vice
welcome.
President. How are you? Herb Durfee, Town Planner. This is one of the items that I had mentioned with regard to when I delivered the comprehensive plan to you last week, or last month, excuse me. Essentially what it is it's a statutory requirement that the comprehensive plan be incorporated by reference into your code. So this is the language that is before you as a first reading that does that, which eventually when you get to the comprehensive plan adoption, it will be adopted, but it'll be incorporated by reference into the code. And apparently this statute wasn't in effect the last time you adopted a comprehensive plan, which was many moons ago. I don't know if there's anything different, Mr. Solicitor, that would require clarification.
This statutory change is because of the case West versus McDonald. There's a question as to whether or not the comprehensive plan rises to the level of an ordinance. In response, the General Assembly passed this legislation, so that you're not adopting the comprehensive plan tonight. What this ordinance will do is when you do adopt the comprehensive plan, it will have the force of an ordinance, and that makes a difference from a legal standpoint. That's what's going on here. This is pretty much a housekeeping ordinance.
All right, I'll make a motion to.
I just, before you get, does anybody, I noticed a couple of things that I think needed to be tweaked. I was gonna give anybody else an opportunity, but if nobody has anything, then I'll dive right in. And this is more like housekeeping things. As I was reading through it, we mentioned on page 1, board by the financial town meeting. We don't really do financial town meetings, so that probably wants to come out. And then I was moving along to 1530, it said quorum. Majority of the membership in planning board, it'd probably be a good idea to introduce the number of the members. So that way somebody reading it would, because they wouldn't really know what triggers a quorum. I know your language kind of went into explaining it, but I just thought maybe we have 9 members on the planning board, so a quorum would be 5. Going back into page.
Are you referencing sections that are not
I'm going,
underlined?
I read it from
the
start to
whole,
finish.
the whole thing?
No, what this
Okay.
is right here, I went through and I made some notes and I just, to me, I think clarity would be definitely the time on financial meeting. We don't do that. We have budget meetings.
Yep.
Then on page 6 and 15-32, it's mentioned about expenses for engineering, legal and clerical. So I'm like, is that our present engineering, Fuss and O'Neill? Is that present our town clerks? Or is that our present solicitor? Or are you looking to go outside?
So basically what you're referring to are matters that have already been incorporated into our code.
Well, if
The
this is
only
the first
thing
reading,
that's
then we
the-
can change this. We can tweak
I
this.
just, I'm just
I'm just
I'm not
responding back.
disagreeing.
Yeah,
Not
I know.
disagreeing. I'm just saying the only part that I've recommended be amended is the addition of the language at the very tail
Well,
end.
this,
And
did
then
it come out of, did it come from you or did it come from somebody else?
Came from me.
Okay, so these things I feel need an explanation. And if this is a first reading, this is the opportunity to have the explanation. I didn't have an opportunity to have any conversation with you before I went through this. So
Yep.
can you explain the expenses? Are you looking for, is that our present engineering? Or is it outside?
Under our current
Yeah,
ordinance for the planning part of the code. Basically, we have, you have enabled the opportunity for, because we don't have a town engineer from that standpoint, have professional review fees paid for by the consultant that would cover 100% of us going out for, say, our on-call engineer, Fuss and O'Neill, or any other.
okay, so like
professional.
this is granting the planning board the authorization to do this stuff.
This is already enabled. The only thing that's new is the underlying language at the very tail end of the.
All right,
of
so
the
I'm gonna
ordinance.
pivot towards the solicitor then. Does the planning board presently have the power to go out and get their own engineering and legal and clerical? Or would they go to you for legal?
Well, legal, it's never been an instance since I've been here that, the planning board has engaged the council over and above mine, not even for a complex situation. But, a couple of points. The first one is that, sometimes what the planning board will do is make it a condition that, an applicant, pay for whatever peer review that the.
And that's in here.
Yes.
100% that's in here, but under section 51532, that's not here.
I think what needs to be done here, because the main thing is the ordinance that you have on the agenda. What we can do is get, a clarifying memo, because I think you're raising good points. We'll have a clarifying memo for you for the second reading.
Okay, and under that section and then under section on page 7, 6 and 7, it's also the collection and discretion of, looking for documentation through the town clerk's office. I'm like, are they doing this now or they already need to do it? I just was looking for some explanation. If I'm way off base, please, by all means, correct me, but like, I understand at first reading, this is the opportunity to dissect into this stuff. If we don't do it now.
These are good points that need to be addressed.
Yeah, okay.
I
They
have a
are, and
question.
we
Yeah.
will address.
So, out of these 10 pages, on page 9 are the only additions. Everything else was already on the books.
Correct. What I was putting forward was the existing language and just showing where the new
You
language was
need an
going.
in-house editing file of everything, Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your retirement, you can stop on page 1. All right.
Okay,
All right, I think we're good. Thank you.
thank
So we
you.
need a motion on that to accept.
I think there's one
Move
pending.
on.
Yeah, I was starting to make a motion to move this to a
Yeah.
second reading.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. 02 is the municipal court. Is that gonna come from you, Tony, or is that, well, should we just step out? This is the town clerk too.
This proposal and language does come from the town clerk. And basically what this does is clarify the administrative staffing for the municipal court. And basically puts the supervision for the clerk of the municipal court, training and everything else under the supervision of the town clerk. Previously, it had been the town manager. And as Sandy has pointed out, that's from a efficient management efficiency standpoint, it's probably better if the clerk was the supervisor, particularly since the staff is coming from there. And I can tell you that this language is identical to other municipalities that was brought to our attention by the current town manager. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
So
And
that's-
Sandy is back.
It's the changes, instead of the manager overseeing, it's the town clerk.
Yeah, and it's beefed up a little bit too. The original proposal was just to change in the current ordinance where it says town manager, under supervision of town manager, delete that and insert town clerk. But the proposal that you see now is slightly more robust and states that the town clerk shall provide administrative staffing as needed for the proper, or by the way, should be for the proper operation of the municipal court. and also includes providing trained staff and things of that nature. Clerk will keep the docket of regular docket of all cases. We suggested that. We think it's very good. And clerk of the court shall be responsible for the administrative duties required of the municipal court in accordance with state and municipal court compact, and shall be responsible for the documentation. So essentially what this is the administrative scheme for operating the municipal court. Not to say that that wasn't done previously, but now it's spelled out.
Motion to approve and move it on to the second reading.
There a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to the public hearing, PH1. Request for a BVL limited beverage license from Blount Fine Foods Corporation, DBA Blount Market, 406 Water Street, Warren, Rhode Island. I believe I saw, oh, there he is. Yes. Good evening, come forward.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
Great to see everybody. Thanks for having me. Todd Blount from Blount Fine Foods requesting limited liquor license BVL for the Blount Market, the restaurant inside a limited food restaurant. Thank you.
Any questions from any council members?
We do have one BVL available, am I? Yes, we do. We do, okay, that was given up by, we have two, okay. So you're gonna have wine and beer over on the food side?
Yes.
Where people can
Yep.
sit, have a chowder and a beer?
Yes.
Are your hours changing?
Are the hours changing? They're not. They change on and off seasonally. So no different than they
I
have.
mean, not because of this.
Correct. Good point. Yes, it's for eating. So it's the normal dining hours.
Will you be expanding any?
We're not expanding. We've been cleaning up parking and getting things organized in that area, but we're not expanding the restaurant.
So how late do you stay open typically during season, say?
Yeah, well, in the market, I believe 7:30 or 8. Winter 7, summer 8.
Sounds, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna have you take a seat because it's a public hearing. You can stay in the front because you may not be there too long. So this is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the public that wishes to come up and speak in any manner towards this application, please feel free to come up. Seeing none, I am going to close the public meeting.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. You can come back. No, well, you can stay back. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve. I see there are neighbors here. Nobody spoke for
Yeah.
events, so I have the good faith of this gentleman. Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations. Good luck. We're on to petitions. Yes. Thank you. First one is Discover Warren. Floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Carrie Cronin. I am 90 Union Street, and I'm the chair of Discover Warren. We are requesting an annual or a yearly entertainment license to cover any and all events that we put on in the town. The upcoming one is the Warren Walkabout, which will happen on Sundays, the last 2 Sundays in October, the 20th and the 27th, from noon to 5. There'll be all kinds of great stuff going on, including lots of live music happening all over town. There'll be a poetry slam at the annual Ugly Sale over at 30 Cutler by Mudstone Studio. So it's definitely a reason for people in town and people from all over the region to come and experience Warren and all of its wonder.
What's an ugly sale?
The annual Ugly Sale is a sale that Mudstone Studios, the ceramic studio, has been putting on, whereby
Oh,
they
ceramics.
they sell some of their oopsies and whatevers,
Yeah.
and they could be construed as ugly to some and beautiful to others.
The eye of the
So-
beholder.
Yeah, exactly. And so piggybacking on that, artists will be, there'll be a bunch of people set up in tents, and they'll do a new thing whereby artists will be selling their new works and their oopsies, and they're sort of just studio detritus and stuff that they're ready to get rid of. So it could be fabric scraps, it could be buckets of paint, it could be whatever, but it'll be a real sort of surprise to come and see what they're doing. That'll be on the 20th, and then the 27th, there'll just be music and food and shopping and all sorts of hoopla going on all over town.
Can I ask, how long have you been doing this?
Me personally,
Well, the group,
a while, a minute.
10 years, right?
A long time. I mean, the walkabout has been going on for many, many years. The artist started it
Mhm.
probably 20 years ago.
Right.
And it was sort of an art stroll. And then Discover Warren, as it sort of developed into more of a marketing and promotion arm of the merchants and the art and food community in town. We kind of took it over, and now we're kind of back to, we're a little more gelled back in with the artists. And so it's just, it continues on.
But you got entertainment for all these years and it's been great. And
It-
I mean,
yeah.
I know, obviously I go, but
Our chair of music and entertainment is Elwood Donnelly. I think probably most people here have heard of him. He has already booked all of the music for the 2 Sundays. So there's lots of great reasons to come out and have a good time.
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
happy to second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Congratulations, move on. Next on the agenda is P2. We have a request for a yearly entertainment license from the Hive, the Archive Book and Snackery, Uriah Donnelly.
Motion approved.
I want to know.
Come on forward, we'll give you your 5 minutes. Good evening.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
As you can tell, you have a lot of supporters
Hi,
here.
I'm Uriah. I live on 97 Child Street. And I am the owner operator of Archive Book and Snackery, affectionately known as the Hive. Yes. We are looking to do entertainment of all kinds, of all varieties. Yeah. Go ahead.
Throughout the year.
Throughout the year,
Yep.
yes. It really helps draw people towards our
Sure.
end of the
Understood.
world.
Any other questions? We already have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You can stay right there. You're next on your
Can
P3.
I actually ask a question about that before we move on?
Sure.
So in our space, we share it with the collaborative. It's a one space and they're there as well. Is there a need for 2 licenses within that one space?
Anthony,
For
it's not
2.
separated by a wall or anything. It's one room.
Yes.
So that you need 2 licenses.
So you have a common area that you share,
Our space is just one big.
one big common area that you share.
Yeah.
Bookshelves.
I mean, I was just thinking because like when Discover Warren has a town-wide license, it's like, it's similar, like it could just be. We work together.
His question was, Anthony, is next door to the archive, well, actually not next door, within the same confines of the room. They share the space with the collaborative. They don't need 2 entertainment licenses.
No, they don't,
They're in
yeah.
one
No.
group in one room.
But
One's
it's,
enough.
yeah, and it's your entertainment license, so you would be subject to, if like they were using it, like you were, and they violated or were non-compliant, it would be you.
Right.
Yeah, it's not them, because it's your license.
Gotcha.
Fair enough?
Fair.
All right, good. We move on now? We're gonna go. P3, request for outdoor seating. It's the same applicant. Proceed.
Yeah, we want to just put these 2 tables with 2 chairs, so it's 4 chairs altogether outside. I mean, we actually have already had them out. Nobody has ever sat in them, but I think it helps to let people know that we're
Sure.
alive and open.
And you submitted a seating plan. The building official have input on this, or has it not come to your attention yet? Okay. So if we approve it, it'll be conditional on.
Okay.
Yeah, the police and fire if they need to be involved.
Yeah, I mean, seating has been sometimes an issue because of sidewalk access. So obviously the building
Yeah.
official will look at it and make a determination if there's sufficient room for access for handicap
Yeah,
within the front of the table. So
absolutely.
should be.
Motion to approve contingent on the authorization, from the building official and fire department. And the police.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Good luck. We have P4, request to serve food and alcohol beverages outside the parking lot under the tent for the Crossroads Restaurant. Good evening, come on forward.
Evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Good, thank you. My name is Carrie Frattarulo, and we're looking to have an outdoor event on Saturday, September 14th. Just to, summer is not very beneficial for restaurants that aren't down on Water Street, and so I'm looking to kick off our busy time to draw people in. We'll have some live music from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. And I'm looking to put up a tent and have some tables out there for people to eat and drink in the nice weather.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank
And
you.
you were also P5, but you want to withdraw that one at this
What, I
time?
don't know. I don't know what, I don't know what.
It was just a request, the outside entertainment.
Well, we are having live music and it is outside. So under the tent, he will be playing.
So then we're gonna,
So we need
so yeah, so stay
So
right there.
Same idea.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a one-man band. His name is John Tyler. I'm sure you're familiar if you're local. So it'll just be him and a speaker, and then the Rhode Island professional firefighters, pipes and drums will be doing a walkthrough for 1 hour. They'll start outside, they'll walk through my restaurant and then out again so it's just 2 to
Motion
5.
approved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Good luck. Next on the agenda is P6, request for a one-day entertainment license from Julie Brown. Good evening. How are you?
Good. So, yes, Julie Blount. I live at 11 Wheaton Street, and I am here tonight representing the Warren Heritage Foundation. We're having our 10th annual gala celebration on September 21st at the Jade Engineered Plastics, which is celebrating Warren's manufacturing history. So we are requesting a one-day entertainment license. And we also are requesting a Class F beverage license.
Motion to approve the entertainment license.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the class F.
Great, thank you very much.
Second.
All in favor? No, you're fine. We're just posting it.
You got it.
Yeah. Good luck.
Did we vote on that?
We did.
On the F?
Yes,
Okay,
I asked for all of who?
okay.
Yeah, I was stupid president. And I'm trying, is P8 is still on or is P8? Those are withdrawn. Okay. Yes, so P8 and P9 are withdrawn. All right, P10. This is a request for a Class F1 beverage license from Waterman F. Brown from 691 Main Street. That's Hope Maine is. Oh, I see our favorite coming forward. Hello. No, you aren't. Please identify.
I am Lisa Rayola from Hope, Maine. I am an approved surrogate for Waterman
Yeah.
F. Brown, the 7th.
We're glad to have you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I think he's the surrogate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second, but why don't you tell us about your
Yeah.
event?
So yes, thank you for that opportunity. So Hope in Maine is celebrating our 10th anniversary on October 5th on Saturday. And we are going to have a very large 60 by 80 tent outside, and we want everybody to be there. And we will have some entertainment, lots of food, and some cocktails and mocktails and beer and wine. And so we're excited to be doing that and always grateful for the town of Warren because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you all.
We appreciate you. Is there a motion?
Did it.
Oh, second?
Done.
She did it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you
Move
very
on.
much.
Thank you very much. Correspondence, and any of the members see anything they would like to pull out?
Yeah, I'd like to pull out C5.
C5. Let's go to C5. The floor is yours, Brad.
So.
Go ahead, Deb. Go ahead.
So
Yep.
this letter is from the Harbor Commission. And they're asking us to request that the town solicitor's office complete its final review of the management plan and provide the needed letter of approval to CRMC. And that's, according to them, the only step left to require CRMC to approve the plan. So I guess I'm a little confused as to why, why this has been maybe held up. I appreciate some feedback, understanding of the situation.
We're not sure. I mean, we don't direct the solicitor's office. And he has the full docket. It was brought to our attention that the comprehensive plan is coming up. We have one last step to get this plan approved. It's been back and forth for many years, and we just wanted to facilitate this by asking you folks to basically, I mean, we can't tell Tony what to do. We're just asking you guys to direct his office, prioritize this. It's from everything that I've been told, it's one letter to CRMC and we're done. And we've been working on this for years, so that's why we gave you
Well, since you
a
brought it
timeline.
up, Mr. DeSisto is prepared to let everyone know why the management plan hasn't moved forward.
So in May of 2023, my office sent a letter out to the Harbor Commission asking for some changes to the harbor management plan. And all but 2 were made. And, when it came back here for you to forward it to CRMC, I also brought that to your attention. There hasn't been any changes to be made, and specifically, I'll point out what they are so you know, and I know you got a email from one of the neighbors out there.
Correct.
That has to do with the right of ways for Bayview Avenue, Bay Street at Brownell, and those 2. So what I've done is I have sent a letter to CRMC. Of course, I'm legal counsel there too. But I pointed out that there was some misstatements in the harbor management plan as to the CRMC status for those rights of way. I've pointed them out, and I've said to the CRMC basically that those have to be corrected before CRMC can sign off on that. That's been the holdup. It's not a new issue. It's been around for a long time. So I've done what I've done here.
Can you clarify misstatements by the Harbor Commission?
Yes, it has to do with the status of these rights of way. They're not under review by coastal. And the determination there is that there's insufficient evidence to give them a designation as the right of way.
Didn't we unanimously approve the plan as it was written? I thought we'd gone through voting for this and it was just like a dotting Ts or dotting Is and crossing Ts.
Those are the 2 Is and the 2 Ts that had to be dotted and crossed. They haven't. So I brought that to the attention of CRMC. It'll be approved with those changes.
So the letter from Mr. Massey, who represents Twisted Point, is asking that we direct Mr. Kemp to remove the draft harbor management claims on Brownell access points. So is that essentially what you're talking about here? Is that something we should be concerned with?
I gave the Harbor Commission a memo and you all a memo on that with the corrective language. I've sent that to CRMC too. So to the extent that you need to direct me to do anything, it's already been done. And that's the status.
I'm happy to hear that because my understanding from talking with planners that plan has to be adopted by the council and CRMC and state in order for the comprehensive plan to move forward. So
Yes, it
we don't want
does.
to drag this
But
in.
you need to have an accurate harbor management plan.
No question about it, but I'm happy to hear that
Yeah.
there's action on this. Thank you.
But it's,
There's no action on it.
No, it's just, yeah. It's
It's
more
a-
The
information.
Harbor
It's-
Commission
it's
brought
not a
this to the
directive,
attention
am I
of the
correct?
council when it's all been dealt with
Well,
inter-office.
but basically what I was asked to do was to say, yes, I've reviewed this and everything in here is accurate and correct. And that's not true. And I'm not going to do that. So what I did do is point out the 2 areas where changes needed to be made.
so what So what has to be done?
You guys, nothing.
All right, so when we come back next month to approve the comprehensive plan, this will be all tidy and done, so
Well-
we don't get held up for another 20 years.
Well, I hope so, and it's not gonna be 20 years. And I doubt that your comprehensive plan is gonna be held up because of the harbor management plan. Let me tell you how harbor management plans are adopted. Harbor commissions make a recommendation to the town council. Town council approves, and then it goes to coastal, which has ultimate authority to approve harbor management plans. That's where it is. This last issue, I think, has been cleared up. And then CRMC will approve it, so that by the time you have your public hearing on that, you will have a CRMC approved harbor management plan.
I would like to see our harbor master retire at peace, knowing that this plan has been put to bed.
Yes. But this isn't a new issue.
Otherwise, you cannot retire.
Well, maybe that was the plan all along,
I think.
but this is not a new issue.
Been exposed.
And I actually brought this in writing, not only to the Harbor Commission, but also to the town council too. Now I brought it to the attention of CRMC.
Okay.
Thank you.
You satisfied?
Yes.
Perfect. Since we're here, I did just want to pull real quick, C2. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar, was from this young lady, Fiona Shop, who did a project for the Water Authority. If you haven't had an opportunity to read it, you should go out and read it. She gets into some great detail about how she has built sustainable hydropower. She even goes into detail of how to build it. And I was so impressed and overwhelmed when I was reading it. I was like, we have an opportunity to talk about this real quick. I felt like I would mention it. So Fiona Shop, if you're out there listening, well done. Anybody else with correspondence? Moving on, we're on to old business, OB1. This is me, discussion and action regarding the process of the trash pickup. Our Public Works Director.
Pending meeting with Mega, trying to get everybody on the same page. So I actually have to speak to the solicitor after today, see if he can meet with Mega this week. So I can have an update for you next month, but
Fair enough. Did they agree or?
we have a time. I just need to make sure the solicitor can make it.
I'll make it.
Perfect. But in case anybody hasn't noticed, they have added an extra truck on recycling weeks. It is a Harvey truck. That is part of their conglomerate of businesses that they own. So there is an extra truck in town during recycling weeks.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes. Did I miss P9 and 10? Oh, no. Yes, thank you. Yes. Can I direct the clerk? Yes. Can I have a motion to direct the clerk to send a letter to our tree warden who's retiring and of course our harbor master? So Steve Patasetta and Ed Cabral.
And a motion to advertise.
And thank you. And a motion to advertise both positions.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. I meant to do that. Yes. And we're on to new business now. NB1, discussion and action regarding the flooding on Central Street and Vernon Street. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. We're gonna ask if we can continue this for, I believe we said November. We have a lot of properties, about 18 properties that we're kind of dealing with. So speaking with the solicitor, we need to kind of create those easements for everything. And we also have to look at the DEM issues with this and see what our left and right boundaries are. As the season kind of winds down, we'll have a better opportunity to get in there and clean what we can without having the giant poison ivy and trees everywhere right now that it is. So we are asking.
Business one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are asking just to continue it as we get more information for you, and the solicitor and I can work through the issues with easements on all the properties.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else from the council? You have?
Motion to continue NB1 and have the DPW director work with the manager and the solicitor to keep this moving along.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. NB2, discussion and action regarding a letter from a town resident, Douglas Jablonski, requesting the town to mandate private sector vendors to leave a small sign on the property in which work was performed. I'm gonna defer that to the town manager or You know, did you, I read it. I understand where he's going with this. I'm just not sure we can dictate to a outside vendor, like, leave notice. What's your position?
Well, I actually think it's something that can be done by ordinance, but I do think that, what do we have here from the, sewer department?
Sewer
They
department?
want-
Well, we have Mr. Blank in the room. You gonna put him on the spot? Yeah. Could you come forward, please? Come on down. Yeah. Are you up to speed? What, do you want me to bring you in or?
Yeah, you gotta bring me in.
Okay, so a resident out there who has his septic system pumped, because we perform 2 yearly, correct?
Yeah.
Is requesting that notice be made when it's done because they don't know when it's done, and the indication was they're checking it themselves.
It's very simple. When they call, it's done that day or the next day. It's as simple as that. And he can call the sewer plant to find out if that has happened. We don't need to be putting signs all over the town because they'll just end up all over the neighborhood.
Yeah,
You know, and then they'll be complaining about that.
so if I've tracked this correctly, your position is I have a septic system, I'm calling the sewer department.
But
It's not
in order,
scheduled.
for the town to pay for the pumping, they have to call a sewer plant. Donna, most of the time, when she's not there, somebody else will do it, but she'll take the name, the address and phone number. They'll call it into J and K, who has a contract from the town. J and K, if it's later in the afternoon, he'll do it the next day. If he gets it first thing in the morning, it'll be done that day.
So it was, when I was reading this, I was under the impression that that's not what was being presented to us, but it seemed like when I was reading it, I interpreted it as you're doing it scheduled wise and they're not being noticed, but it's actually the other way around.
Right.
They're calling you to schedule it.
Exactly.
Okay,
They're making the schedule, not us.
yes.
Is there any possibility that like one of those door hanger things, like, sorry, we missed you, we were here, we pumped out your thing, like put on the front doorknob?
Like I said, they'll end up all over the neighborhood.
And I would agree with you normally, but like, I'm calling, I'm struggling with the notice being made. If I'm calling and like, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. Okay. I'm like, I would rather have an email or something like that sent than,
Well, it's worked for years.
if it was the other way around, like if they were doing it,
Yeah,
yeah, but like, yeah, okay, but I mean, if there's any other members I want to discuss, I'm more than open to listening to it.
I guess people are concerned that, maybe they get skipped. And that this is a way of ensuring that, somebody actually.
Well, like I said, you can call a sewer plant and they'll be able to tell you what day it was actually pumped on.
All right, so that should be the message then. I agree. Yeah, I agree then. As a council, I think the message should be, just call the sewer department. If you scheduled it, call to make sure it was
Yeah,
done.
they called us.
Yes.
Even if they leave it on the answering machine, we'll call it in.
Okay,
If they give us all the proper information. If they don't give us all the information, as long as they leave a phone number, we'll call them back to get the right information and then we'll.
I'm just for clarity, did this come through your office? Did that? You can respond back then with what the council's decided. Okay,
This is one guy, right?
okay,
This is
All right.
one person, right?
moving on. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. New business number 3, discussion and action to go paperless in the town council packets. Council member Cronin, please, Carrie.
That's me. Okay, so in an effort to reduce waste, save some time, save some money, streamline things, I think we should explore the idea of going paperless with our monthly town council packets. I am well aware that it is unique that we are still printing everything out and putting together these heavy packets. I've done some back of the napkin math of what it is we're actually creating in paper waste. 1 year of packets weighs about 27.6 pounds, which means that, and this does not include the budget books or all the comp plan prints and reprints. So we're generating for the 5 council members about 173 pounds of paper waste a year in these council packets. And not to say that it's all wasteful information, it's important information, but it is all available online digitally. If you go to the council agenda online, they're all live links. You can see all of the information. Some of it is, or all of these packets require paper, ink, man hours or person hours in the clerk's office to print them and assemble them and put them into an envelope. And then have our police department deliver them to us personally, which is really fun because
I do like that.
I love it when an officer comes and we, talk about my dog. It's great. But it's a luxury. And I think it's something that we need to sort of dial back on. It's contained in the packet are things that we simply do not need to be printed. For example, if this agenda item gets moved to the next month's meeting, it is likely that if we continue as we are, we will have all of this, those photographs and these pages, which is important, relevant information that we should all know, but we can look at it in an online file easily. Contracts that are pages and pages and pages of small print that could be, summarized by either our solicitor or our manager or a department head to whom that document refers. We just don't need to be having paper separators for each agenda item or for each topic. Flies. The revenue and expenditures reports, which are arguably the most important reports that we should be reviewing and be really drilling down on, are delivered digitally. So it's like we've got it backwards. I'm not suggesting that we have the revenue and expenditures reports printed out now and delivered to us along with all of this. I'm saying it should all go digital. I don't mind having a printed agenda to follow along with at a meeting, although I do have my iPad right here and I could just as easily swipe through and, follow along that way and not have to use all of this paper. The content is all available for us online. How about it? Let's modernize. Let's cut down all the paper waste and the hours and the ink and the rigmarole. Let's bring ourselves up to 2024. Comments?
You're next, Brent.
Well, I certainly agree that there's seemingly a lot of excessive paper that we're getting in our packets. Again, a contract that's, 20 pages that we usually do not read through in detail. We depend on the solicitor or someone else to explain to us what's going on with the contract. So we just need a synopsis of it. But I'm not the one that's going to be dealing with this going forward. But my opinion is that, there's a lot of waste here. And, as Kerry said, the hours that the clerk's office has to put in to assemble these packets, I think there's a lot of work involved in this. And I think it could relieve them of a lot of that burden. Not that they're complaining, but, they do their job, but it would take away that burden. Give them the ability to focus on maybe something else. So I like the proposal, but yeah.
What say you, John?
I think it's a noble cause. I've not had good success when we went electronic. Years ago, we even bought computers for all of us. Either the server wasn't working, the computer wasn't working. Sad reality is the paper works. For those who were able to do it without, I think that's great. I'm the old fool, yo. Yeah.
So,
I rely on the paper.
sure. Carrie, if you remember, I think we talked about this about 6 years ago. And I had actually mentioned that it would probably be a good idea to go paperless, but it would also be appropriate and advantageous if we had screens here that we could read off of, monitors. I'm back and forth. Like, I do everything off my phone. I've recently gone back into the private sector. working where I am reading off of a phone, a laptop and paper. When it comes to certain information, I'm 100% I need paper because that's where I'll make my corrections. That's where I'll make my little notes and I can go back to it. The agendas and small stuff, yes. Agree 100%. We could go paperless. So I'm wondering if a better approach would be if you wanted to have all your stuff sent to you electronically, great. If a member wanted, hey, send me the agenda and send me new business 3, 4, and 5, that would be acceptable too. I think that would be I'm not saying kind of about a compromise. It's like, what do you need to make it work for you? Councilman DePasquale has already said he prefers the paper. I'm probably a 50-50. I could probably go 50-50, maybe
It's not so
64.
much a preference versus unless I destroy it or it gets wet, I have the information. Unfortunately, in the past, it wasn't reliable for what how
Yeah,
I was.
no,
taught.
I agree. No, I still
If
have
it
the,
comes to me electronically and it works, fine.
yeah. I still have the,
To work.
the town laptop that I work and I use, and I do all my town council business on that laptop, which will be coming back next month.
I'm happy to donate mine back. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't use it. It was not a very,
It's funny, mine doesn't work at home.
Yeah.
Mine,
Whatever
I've never
reason
had a problem with it. It works great.
Yeah,
I,
see?
I use it all the
They
time.
came in, I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember this,
Yeah.
they met with me 5, 6 times. Whatever I was, and then had the town of Warren and everybody else for 15 years had my email. I wasn't getting emails that people were sending.
well, that has nothing to do with the being
The
able
device
to
itself.
read the device
Yeah.
itself. The
I
email issue.
remember that though, when they were
Yeah.
here,
Yeah,
that company we hired, it was
You
just.
can get a refurbished iPad that is just so valuable and so such an amazing tool over at Crazy Computers for a great price, and you'd be, you know.
We don't even get paid anymore,
We get a stipend.
not anymore. I cut it out of the
Oh,
budget.
so Councilman Heckett actually brings up a very good point. Since he and I will be vacating this position, I'm wondering if it would be fair of us to take action on this evening, or can you wait 2 more months?
I would say at the very least, the contracts are ridiculous.
Yeah,
These pages of legalese and just small print, it's not okay. And then the documents that get pushed forward, there's no need for the clerk's office
I'm hanging on to mine for next month, so
to
please
be
don't send it.
printing this out
Yeah.
again in,
I see that.
you know, 5
Yeah.
times over.
Yeah.
The separators,
late.
the certificates. I mean, I am proud that we recognize our citizens, but do I need this copy of a resolution to recognize the Athletic Hall of Fame? I do not. It's just, there needs to, if at the very least, we could put some common sense into what it is that we're receiving that's really critical and useful information, and then all of the other stuff.
Can I?
Can
Reviews.
I actually, may I make a
That's-
suggestion?
Well, I was gonna, please, go ahead.
You know, there's other communities that have adapted some things that you're discussing that have worked very well, not only for their council
Because I'm gonna
members,
go back.
but also for the public. And what I would recommend that you do here, since you're gonna wait until a new council gets sworn in, perhaps if you refer the matter to the town clerk, you know, she can talk with her colleagues. I know they talk on a regular basis. So that you have some options that you can go forward with on this. That would not only address your issues, but also some others from a standpoint of the public knowing what's going on. So I recommend you do that. There's actually some very exciting things that are going on.
Okay, and my last little, you know, push on this is that I did in fact hold on to all of my council packets since day 1 of being on the council. And it was hundreds of pounds. That goes into the landfill. I mean, I'm not saying that the Warren Town Council alone is responsible for,
Be recycling.
you
it.
know, recycle.
Okay.
Recycle, sure, but I don't have the greatest faith in that. But yes, those went into the recycle bin. I mean, it's just, it's a lot. and we could do better, and we should do better. And if we're gonna, I would appreciate if the clerk's office would look into reducing the amount of paper that we're receiving and bring it back to the most critical, useful stuff, and then see what other communities are doing and if there are options.
We good? Councilman DePasquale, if you'll allow me, I'm just gonna check something with the solicitors. Tony, can I go back to an item? Mr. Jablinski just walked in. Can we
You
just go
can,
back
yes.
and revisit?
Yes.
Are you satisfied? I see you walk in. I just wanted to, in the interest of fairness, I wanted to make sure you got the information that you were looking for. Fair enough. But yeah, show and tell. Come on down, please. Yeah.
I do business with, and these get left in the yard, and you don't know if people showed up or not. So it seems just as simple, and you can think about it, you know, you can put courtesy of town warrant on one side and council members' names on the other side.
Okay.
Pay away.
And yeah, so for the record, just so that we know that we're clear and clarification is this is Mr. Doug Dublinsky. He was at new business number 2, and you came forward and gave us your side of the story.
Yeah, because I found that I had to go out and check every time because I didn't see something like this where I knew somebody had come and done the service. So it's been explained to me that, you know, to call afterwards and that they'll tell me that.
Yeah.
it happened.
Correct.
But if I see that, I'm gonna do that, but
Yeah. Fair enough.
fair enough.
Okay.
for
Thank you.
letting me get myself.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank
Good
you.
evening. We're on to new business number 4, discussion and action, the end of the Switzer Road project paving. It's Councilman DePasquale. Floor is yours.
So we finally got some quotes back. There's 2 that I provided you there. Of the original 5 bid companies for the original paving contract, only 1 responded, which was PJ Keating. And then we went out and asked local company State Line to give us a quote as well. It's my recommendation that we go with State Line as it is a little bit cheaper. It falls within the ARPA funding that we have as well as the reimbursement funding from the state of Rhode Island. So we can get more for our dollar.
Yeah, great.
Any further discussion? Is there a
This
motion?
is a couple of roads. This is not just one road, but this
Correct.
is a couple of roads
I was
that'll
gonna
be.
ask for that.
Yep, there's a couple of roads included in this. They are the worst in the town right now.
EV drive on there?
There's a portion of
Yeah.
EV Drive that is on this, yes.
And I think it's
What's on that?
appropriate. Yeah, I think
I
it's,
saw it.
Edie Road, 5,640 square feet.
and I also think it's appropriate for you to go into detail that the company that we're considering going with also gets support from another construction.
Yeah, they do a lot of their, they work with other paving companies
Yep.
throughout the state, so they have a lot of experience. We've worked with them a lot of times in town, even my short tenure here. So,
So I'd like to before I make this motion, I'd like to thank Mr. Wheeler as well as Mr. Sullivan for rolling up their sleeves and actually having what I've asked for forever. Town crew to go out and repair that little sidewalk section and the section and then have a company come in. So job well done. Thank you. Those up until you guys doing this have been derelict for
hopefully have some pouring of cement
7 years.
on this
So
on
I
Thursday,
appreciate it.
hopefully.
And I know that the people who complain to me about it will appreciate it, so good job, thank you. And a motion to approve what's the number? I can make a number.
Oh, yes.
136,600.
No.
557, what do you mean now?
110.
It's 110. The PJ Keating
Yeah.
was 136.
Isn't PJ, this isn't part of that, they're separate?
No, these are separate. So
Okay.
State Line is the,
Motion to approve 110,000 for state line paving.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All approved, all opposed?
And motion to approve 136,605.50 for PJ Keating.
No, that's a nay because we're only taking one or the other. We're only
Oh,
taking
that's
one.
right, this is the. I
Yeah.
got it, got
Yeah,
it.
that's fine.
When it comes to the asphalt, I want to buy as much.
Yes,
as
there
we
you go.
can.
So we had a
that's the-
motion in a
That's the
second.
quote we rejected,
that's
excuse
the
me,
quote
yeah,
we
so
rejected.
excited.
All right.
Thank you.
We're on to the town manager.
What about?
Did I miss
No,
one?
we
Oh, I'm
got-
sorry. I
One more
apologize.
Thing that
Discussion and action regarding maintenance and public access to the property located at the east of the East Bay Bike Path and the west of Belcher's Cove.
so for those of you who grew up in Warren, that would be the powerhouse, which is on the east side of the Palmer River, the bottom of Brown and Park Street. So Herb, since we're doing the J Mills Park, the Belcher's Cove, what would be really good is to, I'm sure you're gonna be, if you could, are you aware of what we're talking about here at all? So with the recapping of J Mills Park, you're going to be, I'm sure you already are in touch with National Grid, or Rhode Island Energy, whatever they're calling it.
Yes.
And when you are doing all of that work over there, just on the other side is what we grew up with as the powerhouse. And those are all brick ruins that used to be the electrical boiler house for the trolley.
Okay.
So the electricity that was generated there powered the trolley.
Okay.
So for years, we've been asking National Grid, who by law is supposed to make all of whatever they leave behind back into the state it was prior to them coming. So if there's a road where there used to be a field, it has to be a field. They've never done it. They did a little cleanup back there. So what I'd really love for you to be able to do is in your negotiations and not negotiation, cooperations with them now, please bring them aware of that, because that's all going to be. No one gets to see the water side of that because J Mills Park is where you'd be standing if you're looking at it. And I've spoken to the police chief. There have been some unfortunate circumstances that have been back there with some tent people. That nice people that live in tents are nice, but there's been a few bad people back there living in tents that have been pretty scary, I've been told, to the people who call me, as well as the police, and they're working on that and dealing with it. So what I would love for you to be able to do is get National Grid through the manager and the solicitor as well with their cooperation to understand that that's not a forgotten aspect. And unfortunately, the people we've been dealing with, they get hired, they talk with us, they say, oh yeah, they're gonna do it, and then they move on. National Grid it's been 3 different names since I've been here, and so if you could just try to bring some light to that aspect, because I know that you're gonna be working on, Belcher's Cove. And Mr. DeSisto has all of the legal positions that you need. We brought this up probably 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Whenever we would have a new contact at the grid.
Yeah.
So the last thing I think I would like, what they did once was put up a big chain link fence. So that was their way of dealing with it. But it's a beautiful area. And I think once J Mills Park is cleaned and people are able to walk on the shoreline, it's the bottom of. Norm, what's the bottom where the actual electrical conduits are now? Is that your street, Norbit? So at the bottom of Norbit, they actually have their facility. But then right to the left of it are these ruins. And then right after that is the gas company. So it's an area that has, people who got hurt there, people have, played there. But I'd really love to see it cut and maybe like tall, nice trees stay. And I think if it got cleaned up and was visually accessible, it wouldn't turn into always the scary thing that ends up happening back there. So if you can try to work that in, greatly appreciated.
Will do.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hands up.
Oh.
Mr. Blank?
Come on.
Are you anticipating taking the trees over there?
Supposedly they're working on that.
The whole process.
National Grid hasn't signed off on it. Well, if we can, not trying to sidestep Belcher's Cove, because that is up and going, but hopefully, again, because we have these people at the table with Belcher's Cove, hopefully now we can get the eyes and ears on it that will actually hear us, see it, and help us get the authorization to move this forward. And I'm hopeful because, you know, National Grid is involved in this project, right, at Belcher's Cove?
In the pre-construction work, the targeted firm that we have is the part of the work is intended to do coordination with Rhode Island Energy as it pertains to the upgrades that they're going through. If we have opportunity to be able to discuss with them the matter that you're speaking about, we'd love to do that in collaboration. And obviously I'd be in touch with the solicitor as it pertains
And the
to
drainage, because
past discussions, but we do have a future discussion tonight that will
oh,
play into this.
oh, good. So, you know, it's funny, new people get hired over there and they call us and introduce themselves and we say, hey, great, let's do this. And then they leave and I forget what the other guy, Jacques, we had Jacques, who was a real go-getter in the beginning. And then, where he went.
Yeah, the current person with the Rhode Island Energy that collaborates with municipalities is Michael Cunningham.
All
And
right,
so far, he's been one that you can have a discussion with.
Great.
Whether things get done is a different story, but at least he's approachable.
okay, so you hear us and this is what we'd like to, so that's all I have to say. I just wanted to bring this up to your attention, keeping it hopefully on the side of the issue where, you know, we're able to maybe finally get some traction with this. So it's not like we were kids, huh, Jan, playing down the powerhouse. All right, that's
All right,
all.
moving on. We have the town manager. Item line 1 is fiscal year for 22-24 payroll line updates.
Yeah, thank you.
Request for permission to overspend in the police wages and salaries, non-union account, number 01-540-00-1010, for the amount of $1,039.05 to be offset by police wages and salaries union account, number 01-540-00-1020, please.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President and members of the council. I come before you on these line items. The payroll for last fiscal year, the last payroll of the year, was not posted until after our August meeting. So therefore, we had discovered there were some overages in these two accounts. The first one is for the overtime for the police officers. And speaking to the police chief, there was some IOD issues that they lost an officer who resigned, I believe, last October.
Yes.
So they were shorthanded and therefore there was an overage in the overtime account for regular police overtime. The second item is for the actual police chief's salary. What happened was when he was appointed as the acting town manager, I believe you approved a stipend for him. The first couple of payrolls, it was taking out of this salary line item instead of the town manager's line item, which we did not know of until this was drilled down on. And if you recall, last month, we talked about the town manager's line item. We used that for some other overages. So therefore, the request is to take it out of the regular salary line item.
All right, good. I'm glad we are bringing these two positions to a close and financial positions. So motion to approve account 01-540-00-1010, $1,039.05 to be offset by account 1-540-00-1020.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it.
And motion to approve $1,533.72 from account 01540001030 to be offset by account 01540001020. That would be the police wages and salaries union.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Number two, the update on the lighting and power surge event that occurred at Town Hall in the Public Safety Building. See, the elevator is back up.
The elevator is back up, yes. Just to update you on that, on the 26th of August, there was a pretty severe electrical storm here in town. And we believe, we don't have proof, but there was a strike somewhere in the vicinity of the public safety and town hall complex. That strike then sent a power surge to just the lower half of the building, to be honest. That's the only place that was affected, and the public safety building as well. So the radios were affected. The phone system here was affected, and the elevator, and there was some television and other equipment that was affected in the social services as well. We are working with the trust. The elevator, when they first came in, they found one part that was damaged. They had to overnight that part to be fixed. When that part was fixed, they discovered that there was a secondary part that needed to be fixed. So therefore, the elevator was down for almost a week and a half. They came this morning with that secondary part, that second part, and the elevator is now up and running. We did file a claim with the trust. We are working with the trust, the finance director, my administrative assistant, keeping tab on what it cost us. We had to bring some people in to go over, troubleshoot to see what the problems were. And we do have a claim in with the trust for insurance purposes.
Good.
Any other questions?
No.
No. On to item three, update from the Clifton Larson Allen Consultants.
Yes, so Clifton Larson Allen Clifton Larson and Allen are the consultants that thankfully that you as a council suggested that we get someone in here to help out in finance. And it's been a big help. So far, what they have done is they've completed the initial setup process with our finance department, and communication channels between the finance department and their team. They've done a comprehensive review of our charts and accounts. They reviewed our bank activity for fiscal year 24. Then they've identified some minor variances in the town's special revenue fund so far. And upcoming, they're going to complete the bank reconciliations for all special revenue funds, identify and address any discrepancies in the town's general fund, conduct an analysis of all current town capital assets, and assist the town with our getting ready for our audit coming up.
So they've done a lot of work and we're in much better shape as far as understanding where we're at.
So yes, we're in much better shape, especially for the audit. I was not here last year, but I think we're a couple of months ahead of time as far as getting prepared for the audit. The gentleman that we're working at, his wife just had a baby last week, so we haven't had personal in-person contact, but he has been in contact with us by email. So.
Good.
Any other questions for the manager on this point? No, we're going to go on to.
How long do we continue to retain them?
I don't have a date certain yet. I think that would be once we have once they have they wrap their head around exactly what we need, then we would have a better idea of that.
Thank you.
All right, on to number 4, update on the finance software.
So again, thank you, Councilman Deep as well for bringing this up. That the software that we currently use is Edmunds. I'm not familiar with it, and the two people that Pauline and Dave. I reached out to them to get their input on it, but more importantly, I reached out to Michael Abruzzi. As you know, he's had some a lot of experience with it, and I value Michael's opinion. He's on top of his game. He knows exactly what's going on. So he responded back to me, and he said that in his 20 years of working in finance and accounting systems, he told me that the Edmunds system it's a robust but very complex system. And he told me that this is not a system that Warren needs. It's probably too complex for Warren. As a matter of fact, we're the only ones in the state of Rhode Island that use this system. The history of it, he said it came from New Jersey. He's not sure how it got here from New Jersey, what the genesis of it was, but he did say that when he started working, it was here.
I believe it was brought forward with a manager who came in from New Jersey.
Okay,
Richard Paddock, yes.
Paddock.
okay,
Yep.
so that,
Mystery solved, right?
thank you.
Yes.
So he did say that there's some issues with it, and specifically he said that the pool cash process is too complicated. Adding accounts and numbers is burdensome. Adding new funds is burdensome. Financial reporting is too complex. There's a lack of a support documentation. There's no internal bank reconciliation process, which I know Mr. Burlingame and Ms. Silva has said that as well, which has caused an issue here for us. The purchasing process needs to be streamlined. And the general ledger entry is difficult to navigate unless you completely understand how the system works.
So the bottom line is, we're looking for another software.
Correct. So Mrs. Silva did reach out to some other communities and found out that Munis, which is a company that is funded by Tyler Tech, thank you. Tyler Technologies, and it's a system that's used by quite a few communities here in Rhode Island. It is built for finance. It's for communities, finance for communities. And it's currently being used in Newport, Pawtucket, Warwick. Bristol just went to it. Harrisville, which is Boroughville, East Greenwich, Middletown, Narragansett, North Kingstown, North Providence, Wakefield, and Westerly. So we've reached out to them. We do have they're going to be here in person for a demonstration beginning of October to show us how the system works. We're talking about going to look at other communities to get it from them, not just get it from the vendor saying, yeah, this is, we're the next best thing since sliced bread, but also get it from the other communities firsthand to make sure that this is something that will work here.
Now,
So,
Mr. Sullivan, can we look at the cost? So the rails at the sewer plant came in by about $300,000 less.
yes,
And they need about $120,000 for the heating system.
correct.
Will we be able to have enough money out of the ARA with that, or ARPA, whatever we're calling this one shot that we have an opportunity with?
That
Have you crunched the numbers yet?
That is, well, we don't have an exact number from Tyler, only because I think it goes as far as how much you do. The biggest, most expensive part is the conversion of your current data now into that system. So I don't have a working number yet for you,
I mean, that is our plan,
but
right?
that would be,
To all of you, I was hoping that that could be put together as our plan, because this would be a use that we could use that money on, right?
I agree, yes.
But if we're not using the current system, we're just using the new system, and it's a trade-off, right? I mean, essentially, right? It's possible.
Well, no, we're gonna, the money we're gonna get from the rail savings at the sewer plant. So what I'd be asking, when this petition comes forward in the future, what I'm asking tonight, I asked him to put this on the agenda, is to at least start the feeling of, don't we want to do this? And then utilize that federal money for this purchase.
Do we
Right?
have to, we would have to, we need a commitment to it by the end of the year, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why I
Yeah.
asked Mr.
Right.
Sullivan to start this process, well, the day, actually, it was lucky. It was probably the beginning of that week. I asked you to look into this, and then the end of that week, we found out that the rails were gonna be
Yes.
cheaper, but then, of course, that got
Heating system.
evened out with a heating system that had never been operational, so. But yeah, I think we have an opportunity. I mean, I don't think it's wasteful. I've spoken to Michael. I know people have spoken to Pauline, have gotten back to me. I never spoke to her in person yet about it, and I mean, I didn't have to. It was all the topic was being discussed, so thank you.
Thank
I
you,
think
actually.
we should have him
Yep.
keep moving this forward.
Yep.
And hopefully we don't have anything.
Yeah, we don't need any action on it, but you know, you've been directed. Yeah, thank you. And
Yes.
you can stay right there because we'll have an update on the Rhode Island infrastructure break. That's
Yeah.
also on you.
Yes, so if you recall the last meeting, there was a question about whether we could and I'm not, it's not refinance, but restructure our payment of, yes. And looking into that and talking to our bond counsel, it was strongly recommended that we do not do that because that would affect our bond rating as well as the infrastructure bank's bond rating. So we have not gone any further with that.
Did we have
because
the
of
money to cover the bill?
I'm sorry?
Did we have the money to cover the bill?
Yes, we did.
Oh,
That was paid, yes.
that was our main reason for looking
Yes.
into that. All right, good.
Very good. Anything else for the town manager?
Only good stuff. Keep the good things coming.
We'll release you now.
A lot of help from you.
Yeah, thank you. We're on to the town solicitor. The solicitor requests for a motion for executive session, closed session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5, subsection A, 2, collective bargaining with the U.S. Steel Workers. Roll call vote to move to executive session. Councilwoman Cronin,
Aye.
Councilman Hecker,
Aye.
Councilman Di Pasquale,
Aye.
and Councilman Calendar votes aye. Finance Director, we're on to you. Good evening. How are you?
Thanks.
Actually, I'm not.
You have an update on
Want you to stand
the
next to me, Dave.
revenues and expenditures.
Is
Go ahead.
revenues and expenditures first? Okay.
Yeah, 23-24.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
You'll recall the last meeting, I mentioned that we had a spectacular July for tax collections. And I expected it to be kind of drop off. Kind of look at July and August as the same timeframe. So the collections for those 2 months were 3.4% higher than the recent 3-year average, which we kind of expected given the increase. We have a normal September coming up in terms of expenses. We have no big debt payments or any big insurance payments or anything like that like we had last month. The current balance is 2.369 million. We have a $350,000 payroll, $300,000 in payables, and a $1.2 million school payment coming up. We do have some funds. We expect at least 300,000 in various non-tax revenues. So we hope to end up the month with just under $800,000 in the bank. To be honest, 2 months ago when I did the cash flow, I expected September to be negative, but thank goodness it wasn't. So let me talk for a minute about the finance office. We got some changes coming up. Betty Johnson, who's been with us for 32 and a half years, been with the town, is retiring next week. We will miss her quite a bit. However, Amy Curtin is taking over her position, and Michelle LaPierre, who worked with the town clerk's office, has come over to work with us. They've both been trained. We're ready to start. I think things will be fine. Things in the finance office, I know it's been difficult. Things in the finance office are getting back to normal. There are processes and structure that has kind of been absent for a few months that are coming back.
We know when things need to be done and we have a checklist for getting it done. So I hope to see some continued improvement and you can expect that too. We're in a rhythm now of monthly tasks that need to be done and we're getting them done.
Good job.
Okay.
Any questions for the finance director before we move to the next line?
Just is there any outstanding expenditures or revenue line items that you'd like to identify that are maybe something that needs more attention?
September's a really quiet month, to be honest. It's just the normal routine stuff, payroll, payables, pay the school. That's pretty much where we are in September. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I was just more referring to a line item that was just, out of sorts that you look at and you say, I'm a little concerned about this and we're looking into it, but you're not identifying anything that seems out of the.
Yeah, we're only 2 months into the year, so there's nothing that's really jumping out yet.
No.
So everything's on track, all the payments that need to be made to
Yes.
MERS and.
We're current.
They're current, perfect.
And I guess I would just ask, you have found support and positive support from our budget committee that we appointed.
Oh, yeah.
I know
We have.
Posa is here. Thank you very much.
We've met with them several times and good advice.
Good.
Has anyone told you that we've gone through as much effort as we can to buttress your office? Has that gotten back to you
Yes.
as a support to give you as much help as we possibly get to you?
Yeah.
Good.
You have.
Well, we-
I mean, I have. a
Well, you
lot-
were absent, so I just want to,
Right.
I'm sure, I hope, this was conveyed to you and
I have a
we're
lot of.
trying not to pressure you, but we also want to make sure that you have the assistance and the help that you need to get the job done. You're the most paramount, other than public health and safety. Your office is key.
Right. I have a lot of confidence in this accounting firm that we've hired. I expect great things from them pretty quick.
Good.
In fact, we're meeting with Dave Hanson tomorrow
Excellent.
to talk about that.
So the next on the agenda is update on fiscal year 2024 to 2025 revenues and expenditures. The handoff. I love the handoff.
Tony's
Yeah.
gonna talk about the
Yeah.
yeah.
Say things, I have you say something.
Okay.
Dave, on this. You've authorized the a town to go out and get a judgment bond in this matter. And in order to do that, our fiscal advisor, or a bond counsel, needed to apply for that essentially. And they did get a firm that is willing to underwrite the bond. And we thought it appropriate for you all to know what the terms of that bond, including interest and repayment. That's what Dave is going to do on it. And we're also going to ask for an authorization on that too, just so we can go out and actually get
Well,
the bond
October's meeting or tonight?
tonight.
Okay, so I,
You did, but to me, you need to, you've already authorized
I
obtaining the
totally did.
judgment bond, but to me, publicly, you and the town should know what the terms for the judgment
Yeah.
bond are.
yes.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
So this is number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were offered 10 years, 7 years, or 5 years. And interestingly, all the interest rates were the same, 4.15. We selected 7 years. They were a little reluctant to go to 10, to be honest. And we thought 7 was a reasonable number. So the closing is set for the 18th, somewhere in that neighborhood, something like that.
We don't have to confirm.
What's
Okay.
the amount?
3.3 million.
And it was 7 years at 4 point.
Correct. 1.5.
Well, I guess I couldn't ask for a better birthday present.
You and me both, Joe.
Yeah. And Christmas
You have
and
a birthday twin?
I am your birthday twin.
That's right.
Today's my wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Happy wedding anniversary to my wife if she's watching, right?
Good.
Yeah. And what is it, a 5-year? 7-year?
So what does that do? What's the monthly?
We don't know yet,
You don't,
because they haven't amortized it, they haven't.
Okay.
It'll
given
be
it,
$45,335.27,
give or take.
give or
Right.
take.
give or take. Well, that's pretty accurate if it's 3.3 million at
And that starts in
1.15.
next year's budget, right?
Right.
The payback.
Yeah.
Mr. Rego is,
Yeah, I'll get to him. I'll get to him. Yep.
That's all I have.
thank you.
Have a seat. Please come forward. Yep. Good evening, Mr. Rego.
Thank you. If the rate is the same and you can stretch it to the 10 years and there's no prepayment penalty, you're always better off stretching it, especially when you're in a financial crisis.
They wouldn't let us.
No, he said they would.
Said he was reluctant.
Reluctant, but that doesn't mean no. But that doesn't mean no.
No. The
This on? Yeah.
Yes.
When we first went out, it was 5, 7, and 10 years. And we did not get any bids back for 10 years. We asked bond counsel to look into the reason why, and they thought 10 years was too long for this type of.
No.
So then it came back 5 and 7 years, so we opted for the 7-year.
So it wasn't an option. It seemed like it was an option.
Yeah, we
Thank
did look at 10 years. We thought 10 years would have been
Thank you.
better, but
I agree with you, the way it was worded.
Sure. Yeah. All right, so the solicitor has indicated that we do need to take action on this.
Just
This evening,
to approve, yeah.
to approve it in the form of a motion.
Motion to approve the bond discussion and what am I approving?
I would say at the
The-
5-year term.
7-year term.
7-year
Seven
term,
year
thank you.
term.
Yep.
Motion to approve the 7-year term and contingent on the costs when we know them? Or just motion to approve the 7-year bond?
The 3.3 million.
3.3 million
At 4.15 interest
at
rate.
4.15 interest.
Authorize the manager and the finance director to proceed on the judgment bond on the terms discussed. 7 years, 3.3, 4.53.
4.15.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4.15. And direct the manager and the finance director to provide additional information on the terms of the bond as it becomes available.
So moved.
Second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. All right, on to the town planner. Come forward. Good evening. Discussion and action on J Mills Park Restoration Project Phase Number 3. Good evening again.
Thank you. So J Mills Park, as you know, I've been before you several times over the last few months. Basically where we're at is a little bit of a crossroad. Essentially, just to summarize, as you may recall, we have 3 funding sources that we've been given grant awards amounting to $2 million for an estimated project total cost of $2 million. All of the grant programs run on a reimbursement basis. One of the grant programs, the Municipal Resiliency Program through the Infrastructure Bank, is willing to allow costs for the pre-construction, basically the final engineering, the plans, the coordination with the Rhode Island Energy, and the bidding process, the solicitation process, to be paid directly by the Infrastructure Bank instead of having it go through the town. So that at least the pre-construction aspect of the project, the singular project, is we have that ability. After some additional discussion that involved the town solicitor, Infrastructure Bank folks, and I think the town manager was there as well, we came to that understanding. The hope was that the legal counsels of each could come to an understanding written that we might be able to deal with other trying to also minimize the upfront that would be involved in a reimbursement situation after the pre-construction work. As it turned out, we just found out that to get something in writing is probably unattainable at this particular juncture. And also, I think the other part of this is with regard to the commitment that the town would be under with regard, at least with regard to the infrastructure bank in proceeding with the project. So there's no guarantee that the infrastructure bank would say, no, you can't stop the project mid-process. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, that's what they're going to say. If you take the upfront money for the pre-construction costs, the project has to be completed on a reimbursement basis. That's what's gonna happen.
So the crossroad that we're at, as the solicitor more eloquently defined than I, is that we have to proceed with the project should we choose to use the infrastructure courtesy to pay the pre-construction up front. We do not have any capital reserves, any cash reserves, or any budgeted funds in order to do the upfront. Two things that are out there. One is that the infrastructure bank is willing to allow a bridge loan with them. That's the equivalent to basically working with us on getting the upfront funds so that then we can get the reimbursement cycle going. But there is a cost to that. There's an interest cost to that, and I'm sure there's a level of closing costs that are associated with that. If you decided to go that route, I would clearly work with our engineer in creating bid documents, construction bid documents, such that construction would not start before July 1 of 2025. That would at least afford you a budget season, a new budget season to go through where you could budget for such anticipated interest and closing costs. But right now we don't have the money to do that. The other thing that honest to goodness just came to my attention today is that RIDEM, Department of Environmental Management, back in 2004 and followed up in 2010, basically wants to cite you for not having properly closed out your landfill and covered it. So what former town manager Michaud and Brian Ports from Fuss and O'Neill had done at the time was to basically plead the case to RIDEM to say, would you please not cite us at this point, because we're going out and applying for these funds to do the J. Mills Park Phase 3, which would include the proper closure of the former landfill. The concern that comes across my desk just today, I had no clue that this was out there, is that if we do not proceed forward with the project, unless I'm told otherwise, I'm concerned that RIDEM is then going to come out and do the formal citation, which will require you to close the landfill.
Well, we don't have.
I'd like to,
And that's.
We'll have the solicitor.
At this point, that's where I specifically have to defer to the solicitor. Again, this information just came to me.
Yeah, you're just a
today.
messenger. It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I'm nervous in either situation.
I'd like to address that point in executive session. Can't do it today. We'll do it in October.
Fair enough. Okay.
What's the timeline on this?
There
So-
isn't.
There is.
Correct. The only timeline related to this are the grant programs. It's not unusual at all for a municipality to request an extension of a grant in terms of its agreement. We're not in danger at this point that I'm aware of that would say we have to do something. All of our SNEP and the infrastructure bank, the Southern New England program and the infrastructure bank, we're still within the bounds of our original agreements, and we do not yet have a fully executed agreement with regard to the Narragansett Bay watershed funding, because we're still in the mode of being announced an award winner.
And RIDEM is not going to move forward to cite us.
No, this was
without
brought.
giving us the opportunity.
This was brought to my
resolve it.
attention today, and I asked Brian Ports if he could get me information. He confirmed it and sent me some level of documentation from 2010 timeframe and 2021 in terms of where we had put letters on file with RIDEM, and so they have backed off that. There's nothing new that I have that says, oh, if you don't do this today, that we're going to come in tomorrow to do that. So I think the only thing that is of concern right now would be to just, as the solicitor is suggesting, continue for a month or what have you in order to get our arms wrapped around this. And then we can revisit this from that standpoint, but you're not jeopardizing any of the agreements at this point. Worst case, I would come to you and ask for the request to extend one of the grants.
They knew we were doing it in 3 phases. Right?
Well,
Yeah, we did it in cooperation with them.
Like to address the matter in executive
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
Alright.
So with that, I think we're gonna push the pause button and move to number 2, discussion and action and authorization to go out for bid on the Market Street tide gates.
Great, thank you. So it took some time for some reason, I don't know why, but the state was very delayed in approving this grant award.
a good one.
We just got a fully executed agreement a couple weeks ago. There's some very final stuff that needs to be done in working with the town engineer to basically just make sure that the numbers are still in the same estimate of cost. And then I'll put the bid documents together. We would not have that done by the town engineer. That was what was originally intended anyway. And then what I'm looking to do is the authorization to go out to bid, to solicit bids. A reminder that we have the grant that would support this, and then you've already previously approved ARPA funds to serve as the local match.
Yeah.
How effective are these under various conditions? I mean, 100-year storm gates or?
That's why I always defer to the engineers.
Right, that, again, generally I would have to defer to the engineer. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. But for those that don't understand them, they essentially operate like a check valve. They allow water to go in one direction, but they don't allow water to come back the other way. So the idea is that in storms or situations where there's a higher surge, the idea is that it's going to be help to prevent water from going upstream, with the idea that it would help to at least mitigate some of the flooding that occurs in the Market Street, Redmond Road Street area. And then in receding waters, if we prevented some of that water from going upstream, the idea is that when waters are receding, they'll recede more quickly because there'll be less water to recede. I'm not an engineer. I don't know if that's going to be generally the cause, but controlling the idea is to control flows at this point, as climate change inevitably continues and sea level rise continues to occur. It would be questionable as to whether these would be effective, say 100 years from now, but certainly in the situations that we're having now, where we're getting maybe a more frequency of storms, a little bit more rainwater coming down, greater surface water. The idea is to try to help to mitigate those periodic floodings that we get, which are an annoyance for cars and emergency vehicles and people that live and work in that area.
Is DOT aware of this?
Yes, we in the past, when Mr. Rulli was here, he solicited RIDOT for I think what they call a utility public access point, which allows us to work in the RIDOT right of way. And then there was also contact made with RIDEM or CRMC with regard to making sure there was no effect with regard to jurisdiction there. And
RIDOT
issued
was
something.
supposedly re-engineering their road work because of some of these things.
I do know that RIDOT has a number of projects, whether it be paving or whatever in that particular area. Also, RIDOT recently received a grant, a PROTECT grant, as it's called. Don't ask me to undo the acronym because I can't standing here, but it's PROTECT. And they're going to be using some of their roads in Warren specifically as the targeted community to look at the managed withdrawal and the effect that state highways will have. And that one of the roads will include Market Street in that analysis. Beyond that, I don't have much knowledge to answer your question.
All right.
So we need discussion, we need action on this then. Sure, come on forward. Yep.
Where are these gates going? I mean, I'm
They're-
like the fives, because they could know where these gates are.
Sure, we always invite people to the party. So, so basically where that existing stream exists on Market Street, just west of Redmond Street, there's a stream that goes underneath there.
Know it well.
Yep. So there are two of the gates will be installed there underground.
So my question to you is, with these engineers, when you stop water from going there, going all the way back to Twiggies and Fence Depot, where the old Supreme Ice Cream used to be, that water's gonna get pushed someplace else. Now, I'm concerned, I'm on the other end of Market Street, next to Ellis Avenue, Benefit Street. I'm concerned about this, because to me, once that field across the street of Market Street gets flooded, that's when everything starts getting pushed back.
Mhm.
It gets pushed towards Twiggies or Child Street and places like that. Does anybody look into that? I don't want you to stop one problem and create a problem for me and everybody else that lives in that area. Because you're talking about pushing water, you might have problems down on Medicum Avenue. That's where that field touches, that gets filled up behind Lyle's Farm. Pennsylvania Avenue, you might start affecting them with this water. So I mean, I hope somebody looked into this, because it's a major problem. You know, I would hope the engineers might look into a plan, since the water company took down the dam, and that's also water now, or really mud. Maybe put a pipe there that connects, when there's an overflow, that water can go into that reservoir.
I'd be happy to talk about any other project offline from that standpoint with those kinds of ideas, absolutely. For this particular project, with the tide gates in the underground at Market Street near Redmond Street, anything that's upstream of that will be allowed to flow. The check is basically on the, what do I want to call it, the north side of Market Street right there, preventing water from coming back up through the pipe to go backward up the upstream. So I think if I'm correct, I think what you're talking about is upstream from that area. So anything that comes in that area will still be allowed to flow out, obviously subject to the surge and the tide that may come in during a storm.
I'm ready to do the surge and storm, because put it this way, at that level where Market Street is, that the water goes underneath the bridge and fills that field up.
Gotcha.
That's when you have to back up on Redmond Street. The water, listen, this is an easy game with water. Find the slowest spot.
Right.
And then once that's all filled, it pushes back to Redmond, Child Street, and all those places. It would be like if you put one of these gates to stop the water from going underneath Market Street.
That is where it's going.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's going to Child Street. It's going right where you said James Park is the ditch, right?
Mhm.
That goes underneath.
Eventually, that's the stream connection.
Right there. If you put a dam there to stop water from going there, you'd have half a Warren flood. So what I'm saying is, when you're doing it at A to solve a problem, you're going to be increasing a problem at B. I'd be afraid of my friend Mario Canario's house, all that property around here, Ellis Avenue. Like I said, Pennsylvania, all those places. Was this looked into before we jumped the gun here on this project?
I think this is the state, Jim. The state's doing this, right?
This is an application that the town made to be able to put these tide gates in. They are in a right of way. Honestly, how we fully got here, I don't know, but I do know that Fuss and O'Neill engineered this particular project. If there's something that I have in my file that you're welcome to give me a buzz and we can sit down and go through the file and we can see what background information. This is the grant award is between the town and.
Street, if you remember, next to your old house,
Hmm.
to stop water.
From
Where
coming in.
that water end up going? Just go push down the road. That's
Or
what
down
I'm
the
afraid
river.
of. You're gonna solve a problem on Market Street and Child Street in Redmond. But down the road, you're gonna create another problem for places like Ellis Avenue, Pennsylvania. It could go
Yeah, fine.
far
I
back
got
to
it.
the
Yeah.
dead end of American Avenue.
But I think where he's talking about is next between the driveway of J Mills Park
Right.
and the Sampson's property.
So where's that water that's already flooded?
You're
Where's it gonna
correct.
go?
It's going to be dispersed, but instead of it coming into that pipe, the rainwater is going to hopefully be able to go out. Because at high tide, the areas you're talking about during the storm, they're flooded as well. But it's the fresh water coming down that hopefully is gonna, that's what this is all about.
Well, when it comes down, it's coming down behind Rennie's old place.
Yeah.
All
And
the way
Mulberry.
where Taylor Box is.
And Mulberry Street, all of that. They're trying to put a check valve on those pipes.
Maybe there could be a discussion.
Yeah.
with the-
No,
with-
Can I-
I mean,
On
Yeah.
the pipe at Belcher's Cove. To keep the water flowing out when the tide goes out. So you're right, I mean, it is going to be dispersed.
So if I make a suggestion of, it seems like some due diligence has been done here, and maybe all the due diligence has been done. You know, when engineers get involved, they come up with interesting ways to solve the problem. Fuss and O'Neill is our engineers. Have they reviewed these plans?
They
To your
created,
knowledge?
they created the
them.
plans.
Okay. They're taking the plan, it's being submitted to RIDOT for approval. And they're either gonna yay or nay on,
We've already received, we can just move forward and
We
do
can.
this project. We've received the necessary approvals a number of years ago to be able to proceed with this particular project. The reason why it's coming to you now late is because for whatever reason, RIDEM didn't move out the contract for this and some others under this particular program until literally 2 years after the
so
award.
we're gonna do the old trust but verify.
This, all I'm looking for tonight is authorization to solicit bids.
Sure.
I have to come back to you in terms of any contract award from that standpoint. If there's something that you would charge me with in the interim, should you decide to authorize the bidding, I'd be happy to further look into it.
I guess I would ask for Fuss and O'Neill if they could please give us a presentation on the aspect of this. How
Okay.
it's gonna work.
Yeah, there's the trust and verify. I
Okay.
think everybody would be
At least we can hear what they have to say
Yeah.
of what's gonna happen versus us trying to.
I think the public would be put more at ease.
Okay.
If,
It's for a future agenda, for the October
We can put it
agenda.
on the
October
October agenda.
agenda,
Sure.
please have Fuss
Yeah.
and O'Neill. So motion to approve tonight contingent on, motion to approve.
you're in the right road.
No, go ahead, motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
yeah,
Go ahead, all in favor.
I'm sorry.
And
All in
then-
favor?
And I
Almost, yeah.
will also like to add, I make a motion that we ask Fuss and O'Neill to please give us a presentation on these gates and how they're gonna operate and what we expect to see the benefits or negatives of.
Yeah. Is
And
there
I'll
a
get them
second?
scheduled. And if anybody in the interim, including the gentleman back there that would like to call me up or look at my file, happy to check. I know who you are.
And is there a second on that?
We got a second.
Thank you. All opposed?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. You can stay right there because you're on for number 3.
Mhm.
Update on the U.S. Economic Development Administration, the EDA grant.
Just very, very quickly, this is just a discussion line item. As you may recall, we're trying to do electrical and resiliency upgrades to the wastewater treatment plant because of an outage a couple years ago that they've attributed to result of one of the presidentially declared disasters. Corrosion occurred afterward in the wiring, which brought down the treatment plant. Basically, we're in a situation where we need to upgrade the electrical systems and build in redundancy, which we don't have today. When Kate was here, one of the things that she was able to find out was that there are some extra funds, it's hard to believe, but extra funds with the Economic Development Administration that could help support this. After quite a bit of work by a lot of different people in the office, we have put in enough information where we've received what's called a notice of further consideration for funding. We think that generally means that we're going to get funded, but it's not a formal award yet. The amount that we're talking about is $3,368,500. $3,118,500 would come from EDA funds. The remaining 7% would need to be a match, but we have a RIDEM existing grant that they're willing to transfer of $250,000 to this particular project. So assuming costs hold at that amount, again, you have 100% paid for project. It'll be reimbursement, but EDA operates off of what's called an ASAP system, whereby once you get an invoice, you can immediately upload it to the system and EDA pays that. So you don't have to cut a check first.
Good. And so there's not a big lag there.
Correct. There's 2 to 3 days in terms of the payment. And Brian and I have verified this in discussions with EDA as well as another grant program through the EPA that we've been looking at. So right now, we have a notice of further consideration for funding. We're in the middle of the environmental review process where there's 3 notices that need to appear. Some people may have seen them in the legal notices in our local paper recently. This Wednesday will be the last notice from that. And then there's a 15 to 30 day lag time where they wait for comments to come in. We've already received state historic sign off as a no net adverse impact. And that's where we stand right now.
Great. Good. This was another one of the projects we had to cut to get back down to the 20 million from the 29 million that it was going to cost us.
Yep.
So this isn't.
This is in addition to that.
This is an addition to.
Okay.
The program. They started off full grant.
Oh, this is after.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
we need this as a byproduct.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was confusing
I
with
thought
with
we-
a primary settling
I
tank.
think there was
Yeah.
something that we cut.
A primary settling tank, which we receive an earmark on, that that's the other group. We're working with EPA to get those funds through the process so we can get that going. But I'm not
Alright.
there yet.
So what do you need?
No, there's
Just
no,
a-
this is
just
just an
a-
update. There's
just
no
an update,
discussion and
that's
action
all.
on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're on to Department of Public Works, our Public Works Director. Discussion and action regarding the installation of the new and modern truck scale bid continued from our August 13th, 2024 Town Council. I see we have 2 bids here.
We did. We had 2 bids.
There's quite a difference.
There's quite a difference. And I did a lot of research on this and I feel that the second bid does not meet the minimum standards that we asked for. Given our financial situation and the fact that we have this once in a lifetime opera funding, I think we should go with this Fairbanks scale for the no more than $242,959.92. I think it'll minimize our maintenance issues that we have with it and will put us in a successful state for the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years.
Fairbanks is one of the number 1.
And I will say Fairbanks was here. We also had a recent power outage and surge, and Fairbanks was here within a half hour fixing our scale, giving us everything we needed.
We have
get
the
it up
money
and
to
running.
cover
So-
this.
We do. We have 250,000 allocated. I do think we will actually shave some money off of this when it's all said and done. I think this is the high end of the bid to cover everything just in case, but there's some areas of savings.
Motion to approve the bid, Fairbanks scales, 242,959.92.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Blank, we're on to you. Good evening again. And you needed backup?
What's that?
You needed backup too?
I don't think.
Good evening. Sewer plant, discussion and action regarding the heating system at the wastewater treatment plant.
Yes, Mr. Vice President. So I brought this, put this on the agenda because a couple of weeks ago I met with Eric and Jefferson. Thank you. And they came in to see me regarding the heating at the sewer treatment plant. From what I understand, that this was part of the upgrade that was value engineered out. So I understand that the current circulators, piping and valves have been in trouble for a little while. This recent heating system, season, once it was shut down, it was looked at and it was determined that it needs to be replaced. It cannot be, repaired any longer. And hence the reason that this is being put on the agenda for tonight. Did I cover that sufficiently or did I miss anything?
We don't have the final price, so we do have the final price.
We do have a final place.
Mr. Blank, this is in the main building?
This is the main building. What happened was they got grant money to upgrade part of the heating system and stuff. They put all these controls in and everything, but they didn't actually physically replace the circulators and stuff like that these controls are supposed to operate. Well, they're not operating because the circulators are not working. We went all last year on one circulator, it's supposed to be on 3. And at the very end of the cold season, that third circulator failed. We had about a week of cold weather, we dealt with it. It wasn't that cold, so we don't have to worry about pipes freezing. But if you don't get this fixed in this season, in the dead of winter, you got a lot of brand new equipment up there that could fail because of pipes freezing.
It's gonna be gas?
What's that?
It's gonna be gas?
The heating system is
The boilers are already replaced. Boilers are
Okay.
brand new. All right, so this is just the piping that dispersed throughout the entire building, along with the circulators. And when louvers need to be open, it tells the louver to open or close. If it gets too cold, you close the louver. If it gets too hot, and then the louvers will open up and stuff. It also helps with the ventilation of odors in the building and so forth. And we got a price of what, 100,000?
One came in at 120, the other came in at
So,
90.
gentlemen, do me a favor for clarity's sake. Could you just please identify yourself?
My name is Eric Amiga. I'm the current project manager for the Warren wastewater facility.
Thank you for attending this evening. And
Norman Blank.
no,
Retired.
yeah.
That's Jefferson Tolman over there. He's a vice president from H2O.
Okay, all right, thank you. So when would the installation date of these occur? I think that's question number 1, like sooner rather than later?
We'd like it to be sooner. Rather than
Okay.
later.
What did they give you as a time frame when they can start?
I believe it was 6 weeks.
Which company?
This is automatic temperature control. They came in the cheapest. They were at 120 when they looked at it again, they came in at 90. Then there was another company, Energy One, that was at 105, but they looked at it again and came in at 125.
Are they local?
What Energy One
out of
is,
Mass.
yeah.
ATC is out of.
We use ATC for heating and cooling here in this
So they'll
building.
be responsive?
And they are
Is the
responsive.
problem?
They've done the first half, what's going on, school plan already.
All right.
So, Mr. Sullivan, in the form of a motion, when we get there, you're gonna need us to approve. Do we have a set amount, or is it just to move forward and keep it within? Do we have a somewhat of a target, or is it moving? The money.
I think it's solid right now. Right.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking us?
Yes.
The price right now. We move on this now, the price will be good now,
Okay.
you know.
What's the price?
And what's-
90,000?
That's the cheapest right now.
That's it, flat
It's
90?
90,000 flat.
Yeah, I believe it was 90.
What,
Yeah.
The
may I
exact amount.
suggest not to exceed 100,000 based on.
There you go. I like
Based
that.
on
Okay.
if
Yep.
there's something that, the other question I have is that I believe they're on the ATC is on the MPA.
Yes.
So would we have to go out to bid on this, seeing the amount, or can we use the MPA?
They're on the empty list. That must mean they have a contract with the municipality. Is that correct? Because if it is, yes. If not, just the mere fact that they're on the NP list does not mean that you can just say, we're gonna go with you.
They have another contract with who?
If they have another municipality contract, yeah.
This only works if they have another contract out there. You're getting those same terms. The fact that contractors, MPA qualified, is that all that means is that once they get a contract, other communities.
So, Mr. DeSisto, could I make a motion to approve not to exceed the $100,000 contingent upon your clearance of the MPA.
Yeah.
The Abbott.
He's got it ready to go, if that's just want to put it off the picture because of that.
If either way, it doesn't matter, contingent. It'll happen,
Can we,
contingent on his recommendation.
Let me review it. See, the town did that in previous contract. Then it turned out that the fellow's MPA lapsed. There was no contract. Gone through, we got. That's why I'm bringing this up.
so I think the motion could be in the form of what Councilman Di Pasquale is,
That's correct.
and contingent on your determination. Okay,
And then if not, we'll go out to bid, bang it, I'm done, but this will get you rolling tonight.
You good, Karen?
It's clear.
yeah, so we have a motion.
Had a second.
It's been second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Let's have it. Proceed. Thank you. And gentlemen, thank you for going through the meeting. We appreciate it. We're on to our rec department. I see her in the building. Good evening.
We put 300,000.
How are you?
I'm good.
Rails, no, 600. for the rails.
So the bids did not have anybody bid on them, the bid for the fencing, so we have gone out to everybody on the MPA and actually somebody who's already done work for us in town at the dog park and at Baker Street. So now I'm just waiting for bids for them to come in with pricing, and then once we have that, we'll go forward.
So you need a motion to continue searching?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion for the rec department director to continue searching for her bids for the Warren Community Garden Project?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. Good luck. Good evening. Motion to
Happy
adjourn.
anniversary.
No,
Thank you. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I know. Yeah, we need to go in executive session. I already did a roll call vote on that.
Right, but you
Yeah.
can't make a motion to adjourn.
Well, we have to need a motion to go to executive session. No?
No, you're
Oh.
going into
Okay.
executive session.
All right. Good. All right, good. Everybody get out there.
There you go. That's what you said.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we're coming back out of inspection. So can I have a motion to seal the minutes?
Motion to seal the minutes.
All in favor? All right, there is no action necessary, so motion to adjourn. We're adjourned. Good night, folks, and happy anniversary to my wife.